welcome back to the Popular Man Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I have my always loyal co-host, Cord. What's up, Cord?
How you been? How you been? Chaos is a ladder. Zubac will come back strong Monday.
We got the number one Suns fan in the nation. We got Cam with us. What's up, Cam?
Hey, man, y'all already know what it is. Suns Nation.
We have the proud Timberwolves fan in the building. We got DeLon with us, as always. What's up, DeLon?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jordan.
And we got the homie Daniel with us in attendance. What's up, Daniel?
Support your local museums. If you in Tallahassee, slide by the grove.
Dog tone.
And you know we do. We give you our takes on basketball, music, and everything in between. This is episode 109 of the Popular Man Podcast. If you're listening to this on streaming services, know that you can watch us on YouTube at Popular Man Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, know that you can listen to us on podcast form. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that fantastic stuff. We really do appreciate it when we hear from you. We brought back announcements. T-shirts are live. If you want a T-shirt, go to Podcasting Man on Twitter. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, Cord and DeLon have their Popular Man's T-shirts on in black and blue. They look amazing. But yeah, if you want a T-shirt, make sure you go to Twitter at Podcasting Man and talk to us and DM us, and we'll give us the details on what kind of shirt you want and give us your address and all those things. I don't think there's any other announcements. So we'll just get right into the show. So, guys, we've been wanting it for a long time, or at least we've been eagerly anticipating it because we were just very intrigued by the prospect of it. But we have finally gotten Detroit 2 by Big Sean. Big Sean's newest album after his follow-up album from Double or Nothing in 2017. It has been met with mixed reviews, as every Big Sean album is, where it's been either lauded as, oh wow, this is really great. Kendrick and Big Sean are a lot closer than people believe. I literally saw that tweet before I got onto the podcast, and then or a mix of, this is the worst thing I ever heard. I'm 10 seconds in. I don't want to hear no more. The homie Mero, listen, he said he got the track 2, and then he turned it off when he heard "Lucky You." What's "Lucky Me"? Lucky You. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway. It's been met with a mixed reviews, guys. How do y'all feel about Detroit 2 two days deep into hearing? What's y'all first assessment of that?
Before we go any further, I think it's important to acknowledge that last week we had a conversation about Detroit 2, about the singles from Detroit 2, where Cord and I were on one side of the fence and Jordan was on the other side of the fence. Most of Jordan's argument about one of the songs was that Big Sean set the line, will fuck up your whole Wikipedia. That's just not what he said. And I think it's really important to go back and say that. That is not what he said.
What did he say?
Wikipedia.
Huh?
He said Wikipedia.
Okay, so what it was is, me and Daniel heard the reference tape for that song, and on that reference tape, he emphasized Wikipedia. He did, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel wasn't there.
Me and Daniel laughed at it. It was like, I hope he changes that when the album comes out.
Maybe he sneezed, maybe he coughed. I don't know. But
he was like one bad
artist. I don't know what Jordan talking about.
He said one bad day could fuck up your whole week of Pete. Like, he emphasized it on the reference track. So when I heard the original song, I heard it the same way. But then when I actually went back and listened to it the last couple of times this morning, I was like, you know what? I think he didn't go for it on the actual album. I think he go for it.
Yeah, see this agenda being pushed.
Falsities and mistruths. Terrible.
Agenda's being pushed, DeLon. You see it.
But tell me how you feel about the album rather than talking about how you think I feel about the album, DeLon. How about that?
So I think it's really great. What you said was so important. People were so mixed, and I really love artists like that. Not artists who put out albums where, like, I kind of like half the songs. I want people to either like super hate an album or super love an album, because that's when important discourse happens. So I really, 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 really like this album. I don't know what the fuck people were talking about like not liking the first 2 tracks, because both of those are hard to me.
You snap.
Lucky Me was hard to me, especially after the beat change. Because beforehand I was like, okay, and then the beat changed, and it kind of felt like the beat matched up with the flow that he had been doing the whole song. And I really do like the offbeat flow coming from certain people. I just feel like a lot of it was, we want our artists to have this growth, not just like, where they start talking about how they are in different points in their life, but when they talk about their mindset at those different points in their life. And Big Sean, I believe for me, has really gotten the hang of it. I feel like this was so much less punchline heavy than the rest of his music has been, and even when the punchlines were there, they weren't as egregious. That being said, I don't care if my rapper has punchlines in his music. I don't care if that's his thing. As long as the subject matter is on par, I'm good with it. I just really appreciate all of the album. Unnecessary slander, unwarranted slander, just because it's easy Big Sean. As soon as he drops an album, people pull out their Rolodex of Big Sean insults, their Rolodex of Eminem insults. Oh my God, to say Eminem had the worst verse in the song. Man. That was wild. But
it's
yeah,
okay
I really
to slander
like
Eminem, but I'm with you with the rest.
Yeah. But I really like the album a lot.
I enjoyed the album myself. I'm not exactly sure how much I like it. Just like there's certain lulls in the album. I'm like, I just kind of like check out while I listen to a song. The song's over, then the song I like actually turns on. And I think to myself like, wait, what was that song that just went off? And I had to go like look at my phone. It's like I just generally just a couple songs I just have to like zip through. But ultimately, I think Big Sean did a good job of managing his punchlines. I have zero problem with punchline rappers. It's just that that's a very dangerous form to play with, because if you do like 15 to 10 like wordplay flipping, like trying to flip the meaning of words around every other song, you're bound to have some slip ups and bad lines. Like that's kind of like what Absol's problem is a lot of times, where he tries to force these bad wordplay, word flips, and it just comes off as like I don't know what, like you didn't have to do that.
You go off the reels.
But I will say like my biggest problem with I Decided was that I felt like Big Sean played too safe. I think he heard people talking about how he was a punchline rapper and how he was too corny, and I feel like he didn't do it almost at all, or even attempted that many punchlines, and that made I Decided feel very boring. Like I didn't think I Decided was a bad album, but I just thought like it's nothing. Like I'm not really feeling anything he's saying here. Double Nothing, I don't even want to talk about it. But this album, I feel like he actually was true to himself in terms of style, and he was manageable in terms of punchlines. And that allowed me to be able to enjoy the songs rather than being like, what's this nigga saying? Like, I don't like this line. I don't like that line. He was, he made sense for the most part, I would say. What you got, Daniel?
Yeah, I like Big Sean. I think from what you said before, or piggybacking off of what both you guys said, I think it is just easy to like slander and attack Big Sean. I feel like he's like an easy target. I don't know when it exactly happened, but it happened somewhere along the way. I personally don't think I Decided it was a bad album. I think it was a really good album.
There we go.
Sean messed up when he started allowing other people to get to him. So I think we get Double or Nothing because he feels the pressure. And then to me, Double or Nothing is a terrible project, but it was off the back of a really good project. So I was like, you didn't need this. You let these people get into your head. So, I think Detroit 2 was a really good project. I have like thoughts. I listened to him speak about like what the project meant, like what was his intentions. And I don't want to say he calls it a love letter, but it's kind of like an ode to Detroit, and it feels that way. Yes. So even when you hear like I don't want to call them the interlude, like the speeches from the famous acts in it, and they're talking about Detroit and what it means to them. Yeah, I thought it was a beautiful thing. I love the Dave Chappelle story. I love the Stevie Wonder story. I didn't even know Stevie was from Detroit. So,
I did not.
I thought that was like beautiful to me. There were certain tracks. I just pulled up the track list that I really love. So I love ZTFO. I love, of course, Deep Reverence, but I kind of love that more for Nipsey than Sean. Hate to say it. I love the song with Wayne. Jordan was hating, and I had to tell him that because I listened to the podcast last week. And he was talking, but I was like, their last song together was deep, and Wayne had like a phenomenal performance. I was like,
Wayne, that was more of a Wayne thing. Corey, don't talk Corey, don't act like you don't slander Wayne on a normal day. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's a different agenda.
I know it is.
I was.
I'll take that back. It ain't even an agenda against Wayne. I just don't be rocking with Wayne music like that no more.
Exactly.
So I was just confused with that. So I enjoyed that song. I think my it's not even a negative critique, but I guess critical. I was talking to a good friend of mine named Miles. So I think everybody in their life got someone who like keep them on their P's and Q's. Mm-hmm. I think even though I always try to be like a good person, maybe I'm not like as, I guess, aware of certain people groups as I should. So Miles is my friend to be like, no, you're doing this and that's that. I'd be like, damn, I didn't even know that. So we were talking about the Sean album because I was defending Sean, and I was like, I'm tired of people like just shitting on Sean for no reason. And he was like, nah, that nigga corny. He need to be shat on. I was like, I don't know if I'd say that.
That's a weird sentence. That is a weird sentence.
It really is.
We're not talking about Dubai. I was talking about rap music. So he said we were talking about the whole like Kobe going before Magic line. And I was like, well, anybody who knows me know what Kobe mean to me. And I was like, well, shit, I was like, you know, I can relate to that. Because I was like, even when I see like people like Bill Russell, I was like, I can't believe that like Bill, and not saying that I want Bill Russell to pass or anything like that, but seeing Bill be that old, it's like, damn, like I never got that from Kobe. But then Miles, I guess, saw it from a different perspective. So Miles is gay. So he was telling me, I guess, what his like, how he has seen people, I guess, react to the line. And he was like, he feels like it's been like warped with homophobia. But once again, I'm always an idiot. My mind is always like late to connect things. And I was like, well, what you talking about? Magic Johnson not gay. How the hell could that be homophobic? He's like, Magic Johnson got AIDS, idiot. Like that's connected.
Oh,
like I saw that line.
I was the same way. I said, oh.
You know, we always talk about how, you know, the good point, like the good points of the album first, and then I always had to go back and make sure we talk about the bad points too, because no album is perfect. No album is just like 100% good, 100% bad. And that was actually, I didn't know that's what you were going. I didn't know that's what you was alluding to when you texted me earlier, but that's exactly what I was going to bring up, that exact line. Because, like I said, one line does not make an entire song bad, and one line doesn't make an entire album bad.
Like Emmett Till did.
That line was bad. I was baffled because I knew exactly what he meant. Like he was like, with Magic having AIDS.
I did not catch it.
But Magic having AIDS, I would have thought he would have died before Kobe.
I just thought he was referencing an older Laker. And I saw that.
He could have said Kareem.
I saw that.
I mean, come on. The man is sick. Like,
I didn't catch it at first.
Come on,
Cord.
I had to like. Someone else had to walk me to it because I 100% wasn't going to get there. But no, I think Miles is right. I think, Jordan, you are right. I think it's 100% something like geared towards people with AIDS. And I'm just always oblivious to shit sometimes. So I wouldn't have got there. Someone had to like lead me there. And I was like, oh, you are completely right. So yeah, Sean kind of whack for that.
I don't think it's
Jordan, clip out whatever Corey's about to say.
People AIDS, you know?
Clip out whatever Corey's about to say.
Nah, Corey, it's
I mean,
anytime you say
okay.
Anytime, Corey, where you say anything along the lines of it should have been this person, or damn, I thought this person would have died before you, that's always wild. I don't care in what context.
I was gonna say that. Is it wild? Yes.
Could you imagine Magic hearing it?
It's facts though. It's facts though.
Magic probably ain't thinking like, oh, I'm definitely gonna die before Kobe. Magic probably ain't thinking that. You know what I'm saying?
But Cord, I think that's the thing. It's not facts, because I guess in 2020, modern medicine has gone like so far. From my understanding, you can live like a very full life and be HIV.
Well, I mean, we just got a whole bunch of anti-vaxxer bars. So what is modern?
True.
That's another point.
But I'm just saying, if in 2019 everybody was like, "Hey, who died first? Kobe and his daughter, or Magic?" Everybody would have been like, "Fam, Magic." What you get what I'm saying? So I think he meant it like that.
Cord, I think you're seeing it from a fact of like the age difference, and I think that's how I was at first. But when someone walked me to the point, I think it's 100% about Magic Johnson has age.
Because Magic Johnson like 50, like what is Magic 60?
He actually might be
65.
He a healthy looking 60 though. That's the thing about it. But
yeah, for sure.
Well,
I would expect Charles Barkley to die before Draymond. Like, come on, man.
Or just picking off NBA legends. That's crazy.
I feel like Kobe.
I really am. I
feel like Kobe on a dark side of Twitter making bets like this.
Corey bringing out his voodoo dolls out the closet.
I'm just saying, Charles Barkley hurts the Clippers, so you better watch out. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
But that goes back to my point.
Throw that out there.
It goes back to my point about how Big Sean at times can, get away from himself and just say some things he probably shouldn't, or like. I'm like, cause like that bar was completely uncalled for. A couple with the anti-vax bar, and I'm getting very worried because like a lot of people with platforms are coming out and saying that you shouldn't get shots and things of that nature, and that scares me.
Oh wait, Wop, I gotta ask you, what was your thoughts? What was your thoughts of Big Sean said Western medicine this week? I've been meaning to ask you this for a minute. I said that poor Jordan probably threw it before we heard it line.
Nah, dead ass. Like I said, I've been studying all week for my med school exams, and then like I hear this like Western medicine this week. I literally, and the crazy thing, I just literally woke up like last night and went over a lecture that talked about modern medicine, and how there's there's the medicines that we prescribe, but there's also alternative routes like herbs and things of that nature that people do. And
Dr.
like
Sibish.
and that stuff is real. Like that stuff can treat some types of cancers. It also can help with some other types of chronic issues that people deal with. But the issue is that stuff is usually like a case by case person, just like modern medicine, like conventional medicine, is all case by case. So like how Tylenol might work for one person and not work for the next person. Those
and you shouldn't have to pit one against the other. Just try both.
No, and the thing is, like the lecture I was listening to, it actually recommends that, like, unless the herbs and the modern medicine conflict and then cause one to like cause adverse effects, more often than not, doctors can prescribe you both. So you can do both. Like there's not you gotta choose one, you gotta choose the other. But I will say that little stretch on this song, and it kind of speaks to also another thing I didn't like about the album, or I'm not always a fan of rapping off beat. I don't hate it, but with Big Sean, who likes to cram a bunch of words and extra syllables into a line, it almost sounds like he's talking sometimes when he's off beat, like the Western medicine line. Like it really felt like he was just talking during that part. It didn't feel like he was rapping at that moment. And he does it.
I feel like that's the intention.
Yeah, I kind of like when that happens sometimes.
And I won't call it bad.
Cause he had to let y'all know.
I won't call it bad, but
he was giving like extra. Go ahead, Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? I won't call it bad, but it's just very jarring to hear.
It threw you off.
Yeah, it throws me off every time he does it. Which is the whole point of rapping off beat. Is to catch you off guard, and that's the whole point of it. But that's probably like my biggest problem with the album for me personally was him rapping off beat, the act throwing extra, like kind of rushing a bunch of syllables into rhymes, and then like every once in a while, a corny bar here, a corny bar there, but it's not enough to like this is just terrible. But also the production here and there was kind of hit and miss every now and then, but for the most part it was straight. The features were straight. I pretty much enjoyed all the features. It wasn't a feature I thought was bad. I didn't like the song Post Malone really, but I didn't think Post Malone was bad on the song. I didn't think Post Malone was bad on the song.
That sounds like an Eminem song gone right. That song sounds like an Eminem song gone right.
I like the song, and then Post Malone came through some little runs, and I was like, "What is going on?" Like,
disrespecting the Great White Hope.
Come on now.
Don't get me wrong.
Not the white acts in the game.
Don't get me wrong. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of like, fam, why?
The thing to note,
why is he in these runs?
Big Sean never misses with an R&B feature, specifically talking about the generic.
At all.
I like the time on track.
Yeah,
having a good week.
He's having a great week. He never. I think it's because his deeper voice matches so well with all these R&B singers who come in very smooth, or Janae who comes in very high. It allows for great harmonizing, which is why I think 2088 worked. But yeah, he never missed with the R&B feature. Don't do that, Dave.
And they call me
like
a hater
the
when I
talk show
say
song,
it.
though.
I love talk show. I love talk show.
I like talk show, but after that song.
But going back to Friday Night Cypher, like I said it on Twitter already, so
that's where I wanted to go.
I put it on wax here on the podcast. I sat there and listened to the song. I thought Eminem had a good verse. Like I was anticipating, like every time he's like on a song and I see him as a feature and it's like 4 to 5 people on it, I'm always anticipating him to be the worst verse because he just says some stupid shit. I listened to the entire song and I had that same problem during the cypher as I had like during a couple songs on the album where it was like I'm listening, I just kind of tune out because I don't know, the people who are rapping just aren't really doing anything for me. I tuned back in because of the beat changes with Big Sean. Big Sean verse was good. What's the guy who raps? What's the guy who does the Price of Tea in China? I tuned in.
Boldy
James.
Yeah, Boldy's verse was good, but it was so short.
Rapper of the year.
Yeah, it came and went. Yes, sir. We progressed through the song. Did we finally get to Eminem? The beat changes just for him, and I'm just waiting on him to say something that makes me really cringe or makes me like, okay, I got to turn it up. It didn't happen. It never happened. He was actually flowing really well. He wasn't just like rippity spitting, because a lot of times he gets in this habit of like just cramming a bunch of rhymes into one line so he could just show you all the alliteration and the sonnets he could do. He didn't do that. He didn't do none of that. And he wasn't talking out his ass. Like he was actually talking about being good at rapping.
I don't think that song was bad. So I was texting Mike. I won't say I hate Eminem, but I have like a strong disliking for Eminem. I won't lie to you. I'm like transparent.
I respect the honesty.
But so I don't think it was terrible because I texted my cousin because he likes Eminem. So he's always like, "Oh, you super critical of him." But if Nicki said this, you wouldn't say nothing. But my retort always is, Nicki just wouldn't say it.
Facts.
But
Yeah.
so I don't think it was bad. It was just Delon. I'm not even going to address you. I don't think it was bad.
Yeah, she did had it. She did had it.
I'm trying to talk about this white man, and everybody's trying to go somewhere else. So I don't think it was bad, but it got to a point for me. I think like Jordan, I like tuned out or like I zoned out and I zoned back in. I was like, damn, this nigga still rapping. So it was too long for me. And I don't know if that makes it bad, but I was just like, you a feature. Like I don't need this much from you.
He was
so
it was
too much for me.
Yeah. I think so, Daniel, there was a 2-day long discourse in our group chat about that entire song. But I think it was funny when I was listening to the song the very first time. It was like how long was it? 6 minutes, 7 minutes? Yeah. We got through like 75% of the song.
Something like that.
No, we got through like 30% of the song. Like, okay, there's only 3 people left. Like, what happened? Like, everybody else got 30-second verses. Like, and then the funny thing about that song is like everyone on that song got a beat change except for Royce the 5'9", the one person who needed a beat change on that song. And he just went with, I don't know, who was Sada's beat?
Sada Baby.
Sada.
Royce lost me on his anti-vaxxer shit on his last album.
That's what I was about. Oh, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Yeah, Big Sean's anti-vaxxer bars hit me in the face because Royce's were like
very apparent.
I was also gonna say I did not like Royce 5'9's verse. That was the one verse I was like that. I actually tuned in to hear, and I was like, no.
It felt like he was really trying to bridge with the kids on that one.
What did he say on this song? I'm searching now, so my head is down. I'm looking for Royce 5'9's verse. It's like the Leor call Leor great while they make rape Russell Docs. I mean, like I always hate I get Leor Cohen is a snake. I understand, but don't
be having shit to do with nothing.
Yes,
what?
Russell rape people, so
and somebody knowledge ain't got to rape. Lil rape you out your contracts. Russell really out there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that. It's like the whole they let this guy get away, but they got Bill Cosby locked up. Bill Cosby should be locked up.
And also mention an innocent person. You feel me? Like Russ fled the country. He fled the country.
That nigga's a whole fugitive, man. That nigga running from the law. You can't defend him for it. I hate that so much.
I'm with you.
Oh man,
the whole terrible this year on that point on that front.
Hey, but he said who be hoping you fail, nigga. Oprah and Gail. That made me laugh.
Maybe he got a point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give him that one.
I was like, okay.
That
made me laugh, but that's like his whole verse. And I'm like, bro, what is he doing? And so if people want to talk about a bad verse, I feel like his verse was worse than anything else. But
I like the idea of the song.
I didn't like the song. I wanted to like it more than I actually did, but it was just there for me. Jordan, you just made me think of Royce has a song with Benny the Butcher called Upside Down. And to me, that's like Benny best verse this year. Phenomenal, masterclass. But you got to listen to Royce to get there. And the whole time his verse was like, oh, what are you talking about? I don't know when he got to this point.
Delon, as a fan of both, I know he's heard that song too. You know what we talking about, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
All right, guys.
We've
been here a minute. You guys got any other thoughts about Big Sean before we move on to the next topic?
Realized, not about Big Sean. Cam, do you not like music?
No, I actually haven't listened to the album as a whole. The only song I've listened to is Friday Night Psycho.
I like music.
Me and Cam tag out with the music and basketball topics, Daniel.
I was like, you know what? No, let me tell you. I actually had a few opinions, but then I was like, we got 4 music people on here today. I'm gonna let y'all have it, and I'm gonna just save all my commentary for basketball.
I feel like every time we talk about music, Cam just like phase out. And then he come right back when basketball pop up.
No, it's interesting because I actually listen and take in everything. I'm more of a listener to podcasts definitely than a talker when y'all well, obviously when y'all talk about music.
Yeah, Cam is he's more of a basketball aficionado more so than like a music analyst like the rest of us. So that's why we save him for those music topics. So let's move on.
Wait.
Oh, well,
Last point. Final thing. I think it's time we come to terms with it. Damn, Jordan. I was going to say I think it's time we finally come to terms with the fact that sometimes it's not Big Sean being good or bad. I just think that the different opinions about Big Sean is a stylistic thing, and he does so many very particular things that you either like it or don't, and people need to stop kind of guessing if it's good or bad. If you just don't like that style, that's it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Don't fucking listen. If you don't enjoy an act, that's your like prerogative. Just don't listen. But why would you spend your time to listen to an hour plus of music
Just to hate?
you don't like? Yeah, it blows my mind.
Attention, so they can talk bad about it. That's all.
Listen to Dark Side.
It just makes you look corny though. I don't think it's all attention isn't good attention. It just makes you look stupid. Like, what is the purpose?
That's
I'm
fine.
here. I'm here with you, Dan. All right.
Cut that off and make an
Hashtag-
independent Big Sean review episode.
Yeah, we really could. I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, wow, we've been talking about this is actually a pretty good review, to be honest with you. I wish we went actually more into like the production and more into the lyrics maybe. So
That's how you know the album good.
yeah.
It's not bad at all.
So moving on to the next topic, I'm gonna talk to you guys about how the second round of the NBA playoffs has been going. There have honestly, well, we're just really getting into the Western Conference games. The Western Conference games are just like Lakers are playing Game 2 tonight. Clippers played Game 2 yesterday. The East is way ahead of the West.
Yeah.
So tonight, despite the Clippers and Lakers only have playing 2 games, today, in a matter of hours, the Milwaukee Bucks, the team with the best record in the league, the one of the title favorites, could be eliminated in 4 games by the Miami Heat, the 4th-seeded team. Guys, tell me how you guys feel about the Bucks situation right now.
Give that man his trophy before he go home, please. I am begging y'all. Please do that. And also, to all the Milwaukee people, I have talked to a lot of y'all throughout the year, and the one thing that I have reiterated time and time again is that Mike Budenholzer is a great regular season coach. He is not a playoffs coach. He does not make adjustments. He is good in the regular season. We saw him do this with the Atlanta Hawks, and now we're seeing this with Milwaukee. If you want Giannis to stay in this city, you must get a new coach and another player to put beside him, or he will leave.
Yeah, I'll say. I think they said the MVP presentation was scheduled for today, so it'd be hilarious if he gets his trophy today and then gets eliminated.
It need to be right.
He might not
do it
play
right now.
He's on like a bad ankle.
Yeah, like he tweaked his ankle in that last game, but he played on it, and they said as he was leaving the stadium, he told them like, my ankle, I tweaked it. It didn't really impact how I played. I'm fine. And they said after he got up, walked away, he was limping. So
I seen Luka drop damn near 40.
It's facts.
Uncle Wyatt.
It's facts.
Hey, there's different grades of sprains.
On Reggie Jackson head. Come on now.
So
shut your ass up.
So
Agendas. I watched James Harden put 36 on LeBron. Now, come on now.
Cam. Fuck LeBron. I hate that nigga. That don't move me.
Cam.
That is what you saw.
Cam, tell me how you feel about Mike Budenholzer's management of the team. The whole, I'm not going to play my guys more than 35 minutes because y'all, I think, is averaging 35 minutes in the playoffs right now. He's sticking to his regular season. He's sticking to his regular season rotations. How do you feel about the way Mike Budenholzer has failed to adjust to this Heat team? Talk to me.
The thing that has really stood out to me the most is what's crazy is that the Toronto Raptors, who are seen as a more team-centric, we don't really have a true star player type team, are playing their starters, their big four, they're playing them 40 to 45 minutes a game. So in my mind, I'm thinking, Toronto feels like, okay, yeah, we got down to Boston, so I got to start playing these guys more. Whereas Mike Budenholzer is like, I don't know, like we might make it to the next round, but we probably aren't. But even if we do, I need to have Kawhi resting. Like, it doesn't make sense to me for him to not be playing most of, if not all of the games. And then, another part of me feels like the reason he's coming off the court is because he's not super efficient. Well, I won't say he's not efficient when he's out there because I mean he's young, he's efficient.
Yeah,
But the thing is he's a lot of times he's been neutralized in the series, so that's why I feel like he's coming off the court and they're kind of giving him a fresh restart, maybe against some of the backups and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's not making sense to me at all.
I mean, even if he's being neutralized on the offensive end, he's supposed to be the defensive player of the year. So he should be.
Y'all gave it to him.
Yeah, he should be still impacting the game, even if he is being neutralized on offense. Like he should be out there. Like it just makes no sense because that's what you do in the playoffs. In the playoffs, you play your best guys. You don't.
Right.
You use your
especially
bench.
when you're down in the series.
Yeah, you use your bench to carry you through the regular season, so your stars don't get hurt. But once you get to the regular season, once you get to the postseason, you let your bench. You kind of get them less minutes. You play your stars because that's who's going to win you the game. There's been a call for Mike. Well, I'm gonna say this: if Giannis don't play more than 35 minutes tonight in an elimination game,
get out of here.
Well, let me be honest with you. At this point, they're gonna lose this series. No team has ever come back from being down 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, they're just numbers.
The teams are like 0-176 in these instances. So no teams.
You never know.
You never know.
Said when it was down 3-1.
Somebody on Twitter said that this wouldn't be like the craziest thing that happened this year, and it absolutely wouldn't. Like if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But at the same time, I don't see it because of Coach Bud's inability to change his defensive assignment. So the Bucks' whole idea and identity on defense is we're going to just let teams shoot threes, and we're going to just guard the paint in the mid range and let nobody live there. But the Heat have a very good three-point shooting team, so just letting them shoot threes is not a winning formula.
Some snipers.
It's burnt them 3 games in a row.
I just feel like, so as you know, or well, I gotta stop saying as Jordan know, and not say shit. So I stopped watching basketball after them niggas boycotted and then came back. I said I was done. So I just been watching.
You boycotted the boycott?
No, I can't. Like,
oh man,
it made no sense to me, and it just enraged me. So right now I am just like a stats hustler, and I'll sometimes watch highlights, but for the most part, I'm not for the most part, I'm not watching these games at all. So when I speak. So I just want y'all to like be aware that if I say something that's out of term, I'm 100% just watching like statistics.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is all a coaching issue because to me, I feel like players have to lead. So I've seen like players like just like take charge and essentially tell the coach like, no, this is not what's happening. This is what's going to happen. Because I remember when we slandered a lot of players for doing that, be like, oh, they think they're the coach X, Y, Z. During Kobe's last season when he tore his Achilles. That last stretch, they tried to sit him down, but he said, "Yeah, I'm the team. Like, I don't care who you think you are. This is my team. This is how it's gonna happen." So if Giannis is supposed to be Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time MVP, consecutive MVP, at some point, I think LeBron should win a different conversation. But at some point, you have to take accountability. And so we're talking about, playoff coach versus regular season coach or X, Y, Z. The bench don't get no playing time. From my understanding, didn't the Raptors bench just score like 100 points not too long ago?
Yeah, it did. It did against the Nets.
It was the Brooklyn Nets. I don't
care who it was.
They starting five was the bench.
No, I get what you're coming from. And the thing is, they both deserve blame because, like Cam mentioned, where Giannis being neutralized offensively, like he's catching the ball at the 3-point line, but he wants to be in the paint, and he's
wait.
And Heat are keeping him from the paint but that's also not only a Giannis problem, but also a coaching problem. That the coach is not putting sets and plays in place for his best player to get the ball downhill or let his best player catch the ball in the post. That's Giannis' fault for allowing it to happen, and that's also the coach's fault for allowing it to happen as well.
But we also got to look at how that team is structured too. Like, how is that team really structured for them to be able to do that for him?
Yes, they play 5 out. Like when you watch the Bucks, nobody is inside of the 3-point line. The center is behind the 3-point line. So if Giannis was to get any post, literally he
Lopez has been a little shaky though.
No, he's been
except for the first game.
He's been hitting shots, and so but he's thinking
a little shaky about that 3.
The point is you got him out there to space the floor for Giannis. So if he's out there to space the floor and you got 4 shooters on the floor, then Giannis should be able to be in the paint and pass from the paint. Or you can at least run pick and roll with Giannis with a guard, and so he can at least be moving towards the rim. So that way by the time you passing the ball, he's already like got momentum going. But they don't do none of that. He just picks and pops, and he can't shoot threes. So it's like, why? Why are you picking and popping Giannis? Like that's not you.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna defend Giannis a little bit though. You know what? I'm gonna tell. I don't think he go tell the coach what to do because he not Kobe. Like he wasn't a star player. Like nobody expected him to be this. So he grew up in the Buck system, listening to the coach. Them telling him we're gonna make you do this. We're gonna help you do that. So for him, it's gonna take him a while to become that type of leader. So that's why I don't hold it against him because I mean you gotta think about it. Some people been the guy since high school, middle school. You know what I'm saying? AAU, this, that, and the third. Whereas Giannis, he growing into
I
it. So
get what you're saying, but you can
still
still be. I'm not telling you to call the coach out their name, just blatantly like ignore your coach. I'm just telling you, make critiques. Tell coach, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. I think we should do this. At some point, this kid's got to be held accountable. So if we're gonna blame the coach, I think we have to blame Giannis too. I don't think it's just like a one-person thing.
No, it's a two-way street. And like I said, even Giannis behind the scenes, he ain't got to do it in the presser. And he ain't got to do it, pre-game or on the court. He could say after game 2, they went down 2-0, and he'd only play like 34 minutes. He could have told Coach Bud, please let me play like 38 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I don't like that. I was telling Jordan that about the Clippers last season because he was on Doc's head. And I was like, Doc is not making ball forwards not make shots. Like, he can't control that. So, yes, Doc may be messing up, but at some point, he's not on the court. He's not making you miss these shots.
But see, there's also that's what I said. There's also cases of you putting players in places to succeed. Like, if you put 3 minus defenders on the court and then they can't defend anybody, yes, that's them not defending. But you as a coach shouldn't put them in a position where where nobody on the court can guard anybody, and now you got people attacking from every direction. They can't get stops. As a coach, you shouldn't do that. So that's why I say I blame Bud for playing
against the best offense in the league.
So I blame Bud for like putting for not putting Giannis in the best position to succeed, but I also blame Giannis for being so limited as an offensive player that he can't just go off script. Like the thing is, Giannis can't just be like, well, forget the game plan that Bud said. I'm gonna just go post up because he kind of can't. He kind of can't just post up. Giannis don't really have that kind of post game. He don't really have an off the dribble game. He can't just create.
No mid range game.
No. So go Cam.
Hey man.
And here lies my total issue. When y'all keep saying this man's the MVP, this man is yada yada yada. This man is so good. This man is super efficient. Hey, I'm sick of it. The man is. We're not at a point where we're like Ben Simmons, where we're like, oh no, he won't take a shot. But my man, you had all this time, haven't developed a jumper. Offensive game really isn't like defined. Well, I won't say defined, but it's not. What's the word? It's not expanded that well. He's good. He's a 6'11", 250, 60 pound guy who can go out and get a bucket. In most regular season games, he can average 30 and 15, do all this other junk. But my whole thing is I'm just super frustrated because, some people can call me like a LeBron fan. I'm not. I don't consider myself a LeBron fan. I just am an appreciator of great talent and a lot of other things. But my whole thing, when y'all were talking about giving this man MVP and LeBron wasn't getting like the hype that I feel like he deserved. I feel like for one, LeBron was doing it in tougher conference. LeBron was doing it. He was doing it in tougher conference against tougher competition. He had another star on his team, and he was still averaging great numbers. And I just feel like giving it to Giannis was kind of a cop out, and it was kind of one of those media narrative type things.
I won't say that.
Lakers hate is what it is.
I won't say that. The MVP is still a regular season award.
Yeah.
And Giannis in the regular season was a phenomenal player. He was so good, along with making his team so good. He didn't even have to play fourth quarters. Like he was on a Curry tip. Like they won a lot of games in blowout fashion. And he sat at like the best net rating. They had like the best defense with him being the best defensive player on the best defensive team. Like his value, like he deserved the MVP award. But the thing is, at the same time, there was he do. There was never a time where I thought to himself like, oh, Giannis is better than LeBron. I know that's not the MVP award.
And we know LeBron will pick it up in the playoffs.
No, the thing is, we know the MVP award is never who's the best player, because if it was, LeBron would have had it for the past 5-6 years. But that's not what that award is.
And James Harden would have 2 or 3, but you know.
Nah, James Harden.
I'm gonna say this too. Giannis, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. You finna get that James Harden treatment. You ain't getting no more MVPs. Cause I'm gonna tell you, cause when Harden start folding in the playoffs, people say, "Oh, we don't count the playoffs when it comes to people count the playoffs when they come to MVP votes." He ain't getting another MVP until he start winning in the playoff. Them media people finna be on his neck. So for all the Giannis fans, y'all better get y'all defenses ready. Y'all better start watching some lawyer videos, some court videos, because y'all got a lot of defending to do. They finna be on his neck like how they be on Harden neck. Get ready.
I'm about to cave right now for him. So I feel like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna join in on the slander. I'm not gonna say I'm not. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah,
but I feel like certain things not fair. So how deep did that Bucks Raptors series go last year? Was that a 7-game series?
6. They won 2-0 and lost 4 straight.
My defense kind of just went away.
Yeah,
but
because he folded. But at the same time, when you running into Kawhi, then Serge, then Pascal, and Mark, I can't blame you.
Fair. Really, and especially if that team goes on to be the champions. While we can still be critical, I feel like it's hard to be like super critical because you lost against what was just the best of the best.
Yes,
he ran into some monsters.
But that's why like MVP voters didn't hold it against some of us. Like, he's only gonna get better. This is like a learning experience.
They finna hold this against him.
But this is the number 1 seed about to get swept by the 4th seed.
No, the 5th seed. Oh, the 4th seed. Yeah, 4th seed.
5th seed. That's inexcusable.
I'm happy as hell for Jimmy. Actually, Delon,
I was just about to say that, Daniel. I was just about to say that. I was about to say we really need to be giving Jimmy Butler his flowers right now.
Because hating ass niggas like DeLon, I hate to do it because DeLon, you my brother.
Don't do it.
Niggas like DeLon was like, oh, Jimmy being too rough on Towns. He the problem.
Didn't say that.
Hey, man.
You said
all right.
Once Jimmy gone, it's going to be better. I remember.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that either.
Y'all ran Jimmy
I recognize the talent that Jimmy Butler brought to the team. I also recognize he was a cancerous factor to that team.
He's looking real cancerous right now.
I said to that team. To that team is what I said. I love the Heat. I love what Jimmy's doing with the Heat. I even said last week the Heat are going to win. I still hate Jimmy Butler, but I hope they win. But I still hate.
I think
if not anything for the narrative that he got out there about Cat. If not anything but the narratives.
I'm saying this, and this
great for him though.
I've said this, and I've said it 100 times. I don't know why even Jaquez don't get it through his head. Where Jimmy Butler was one of my favorite players. Like I used to talk about Jimmy Butler all the time when he was with the Bulls. I love Jimmy Butler. Like I love his work ethic. I love how hard he works.
Agenda.
I did, but I'm also the type who knows that there's gray. Nobody is 100% right. Nobody's 100% wrong, and people forget those Bulls. People forget when he first got into with those young Bulls players, and like he was criticizing them, and the young Bulls players were saying, "Hey, Jimmy Butler
wasn't practicing.
Jimmy Butler be skipping practice. He don't be actually in here working like he say he do. He be skipping." And then Rajon Rondo was also a vet who said that, look, if you don't have to air out our team's business to the media. Like you can say those same things to us. Like you don't have to go talk to the media about this stuff. And that's always my problem. How Jimmy right?
Anytime Rondo says something, the opposite is always correct.
Nah, man.
It's just like I said. It's just like I said on Twitter about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a great leader for the Bulls. Not everybody can lead every team like Michael Jordan led the Bulls. Didn't apply to the Timberwolves. Which is why I say, in that situation,
I was say this.
It's not for
my beef with
niggas in that soft like that Bulls situation.
My beef for Jimmy Butler is. Yeah, they want to scrap. Okay, but
he had to go to a place where he can get two subservient white players to be 3 and 4 on the team.
Here's my thing. If you want to be a tough leader, be a tough leader. I don't want to see you cheesing with Rachel Nichols every week, snitching on your franchise. That's my only problem with Jimmy. Like to me. I'm gonna say that to me, you didn't have to air out them young Bulls players. You didn't have to air out Cat and Wiggins and talk about the man girlfriend, this, that, and the third. You didn't have to air out the Philadelphia 76ers business. Like, come on, fam. Like, I get it. You want to prove a point. What he's doing in Miami is great, but you don't want to be the guy that hops on.
The 76ers needed to be exposed for what they were doing.
I mean,
now that they did. They did.
Nah, not really, because it's gonna get exposed on the court. Like you don't have to go out there and talk about those players. Like it was gonna manifest on the court. Like we see that Ben Simmons hadn't gotten better as a player. We don't need Jimmy Butler to go out there and tell us, talk about his teammate. Like you don't need that.
It took us a year to figure this out, though, Jordan.
That goes like no.
All I heard,
I said Embiid was gonna be MVP.
Was that black man should be around the white woman? That's what I heard.
I'm gonna say this, and like I said, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But like, just like comparing it to Chris Paul, like people say the same thing about Chris Paul because he's very hard on his teammates and he's grading on them. Chris Paul He never go to the media and talk down on any of his teammates. That wasn't gonna do it. That wasn't gonna solve anything. They were gonna be the exact same people.
He just lock them up in their house.
I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Sound Trey song.
The nasty man.
I'm gonna ignore the law, but what I was gonna say, damn, that really.
You didn't lie though.
I literally, it threw off what I was gonna
say.
Oh,
if you
listen, I don't trust Chris Paul.
Call Shaq.
I mean, that's cool, but like, it's funny people don't trust Chris Paul, but he gonna sit here and defend Jimmy Butler, who literally talks bad about his teammates.
I don't trust Chris Paul because I've never asked him for anything. I asked him for one thing in my entire life. One thing, he just had to close this series.
To the Lakers?
One. Oh, well, I kind of asked that too. That's different. But so two things I asked in my life. But recently I asked him one thing, and he couldn't do that for me. So I don't got no love for Chris Paul.
I understand. So all right, let's move on to the next topic. So
two topics.
Yeah, we're on the two topics in. We've had a lot to say about the first two.
Hey man.
So we'll speed it up.
Giannis.
TDE,
call Shaq. Work on the drop ship. Call Hakeem. Work on footwork. Post up.
This is why we
don't call legends more.
This is why we on topic 2 right here, DeLon. Every time I try to close the topic, y'all got 10 more things to say.
DeLon had a good point though. I don't understand why people don't like rely on legends. I couldn't understand the White's first tenure doing the Lakers. Shaq kept like offering the help, and I was like, why don't you take this help?
I thought he.
But all right, go ahead.
I didn't understand that either myself.
Hey, one more thing, Giannis. There you go.
Let's go.
Big
broom.
Cam brought up the broom. All right, so moving on to the third topic of the day. TDE finally did something. They are live.
In the background.
Different. It's different.
SZA released her brand newest single, "Hit Different," with a visual to accompany it, featuring Ty Dolla $ign on the hook. Guys, are you guys excited that SZA is finally back? What do you think? What do you think? TDE did something. Did our complaining work?
It did.
TDE did something that didn't involve reason. God bless.
God bless. Round of applause. Shout out to you, Top Dog, for reading the room.
Yeah. So I was tired of that nigga.
So people, just straight up court. So people were like saying it was all like a couple people said it was all like a marketing ploy to begin with him, like with SZA coming out saying that, hey, they won't let me release my music, they won't let me go outside and all this stuff. So, but it also goes back to like the whole point of I was talking to people last like a couple weeks ago. We first talked about this, and they were talking about like TDE. You really want them to release music during the pandemic? They can't succeed. Well, look at them; they're doing it now. So yeah, they releasing the music now. It was just the fact is the matter is they were trying to be stubborn and trying to act like, oh yeah, we can't do that. And then they had fans on their heads, and now they're realizing like, oh wait, maybe we should stream it. The video has already gotten 3 million views as of last night. I haven't checked this morning, but it said 3 million.
I thought that was bad, honestly. I haven't been keeping track of it.
I was going to ask y'all because I know y'all follow YouTube numbers a lot more than I do. I don't know what a typical YouTube video does. Because I know
comparison.
Like Tekashi, Tekashi, like internet sensation, YouTube.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah. But and then also
him and YoungBoy different though.
Yeah, they different. But I'm saying
YoungBoy, they different.
In a single day, what did they do? They do like what? How many million?
I'm gonna say it really depends. Like
anywhere from 10 to 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will say that SZA. It was a lot of music this weekend. SZA put out a 8-hour warning music video. With 2 pretty large albums coming out.
That's facts.
Time, so. And plus,
and a Lil Durk single.
We've seen most of the video on Twitter anyway, so.
Yeah, also facts. That's why I ain't look at it.
That's for every music video, though. Yeah. I could find any music video.
I wouldn't say.
I'm gonna say that I do not see 6ix9ine and YoungBoy videos on you.
Because even YoungBoy put out a song, the song and video the exact same day as Drake put out "Laugh Now, Cry Later." He did way less numbers than he would have. It's just, I mean, the direction went other places. You had Big Sean and Tekashi.
I'm gonna be honest with
you. The thing is, I don't think Big Sean is bigger than SZA.
But Big Sean put out an album. SZA put out a single.
Well, you know, Big Sean did put out a video. Let me see what it did. Lithuania.
I didn't watch the SZA video until like I think this morning. Like that's how, because there was just so much music. You know,
SZA was the first thing I did.
I saw like the whole video on Twitter. Like somebody had the whole thing on Twitter.
Yeah, Big Sean.
I just watched it there.
Big Sean's Lithuania video with Travis Scott has 1.7 million views right now. That's 2 days ago. It came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, so I think SZA's the bigger act. I don't know. I expected more from SZA, and I guess it's the same. It reminded me. Punch tweeted something, and it made me think of when fans was begging for Schoolboy to drop, and that's Blank Face. So he dropped a song with Kanye, and then which was terrible. But then Punch was like, "Y'all niggas beg for this, but y'all not buying it." So like, but the song is terrible.
But see, the thing is, like, are more than 4 million people.
That was Q fault because
like,
he dropped the ball with this shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are more than 4 million people begging for it? Like, think about it. Like, you think about the number of people begging for it. Like, those literally everybody begged for it could have went and watched it, but it still wouldn't be like more than like that's not 20 million people begging for them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I just feel. Yeah, you're right. I don't have like a solid.
And 30K retweets and 1,000 quotes ain't the streets.
But I mean, that could be the streets. Like I said, that's still like only a fraction.
But yeah, you're right, Jordan. Million. The people who asked for it went and watched it. I guess for me, I just feel like for as big as SZA started, or what I assume her star to be. So I know Control is the third longest charting album for a Black woman ever.
Wow.
So yeah, and I only know this because it broke the Pink Prince record. So I was like stuck, and I was like, damn, I love SZA. I'm so happy. But I was like, damn, SZA, how could you? So it was just something I kept track of. But yeah, so SZA's star, I believe, is huge. The songs on that album are huge. I believe that album itself is at least double platinum, maybe triple platinum. I think the biggest song is like 4 or 5 times platinum. So that, to me, SZA's star is like the only larger star than SZA on TDE, in my opinion, is Kendrick. So I just expected, I don't know, a lot. Go ahead, Jordan.
I blame the label. We talked about it. First of all, it came out in a very crowded day, and they didn't advertise it ahead of time. So like people already had their mind set up on, I'm going to listen to Big Sean when the hour strikes midnight. And there was a whole bunch of other things released. And it's like out of nowhere, hey, SZA's dropping something. I almost missed that announcement thing about it. And I blame the label because the label isn't creative at all with this promo. They're lazy. They try to play the Mystique angle, and the Mystique angle is cool for sustaining attention, but it doesn't gain you new fans. Like doing nothing doesn't make you get new fans. Like people aren't gonna be sit at home.
It don't work with R&B unless you're the Weeknd.
People who aren't fans, people who aren't fans of SZA aren't gonna be in the house, not seeing SZA, not listening to SZA, and thinking to themselves, I should go listen to SZA because she isn't doing anything. That's not how you make new fans. You got to do things to promote yourself and put yourself in spaces. And so while I think she might have sustained the fans she had during this little hiatus because they was eagerly anticipating it, she didn't. You didn't make new ones, and to be a superstar, you got to constantly keep your face in people's faces. What's up, DeLon?
Another thing is, on a crowded day, that was the most "Here Nigga Damn" release for a single like I've seen in a very long time. Like, oh, y'all want the SZA? And then as soon as they put the video out, here comes Punch on Twitter. I told y'all. Y'all got something to say? Y'all missed me, huh? Y'all said it last week. Like, we get it. But also, like, I just feel like normally people with R&B, people usually react and wait more for the full project than the single. I just don't know too many R&B, not pop R&B, just too many R&B singles that just do super numbers.
That's true.
And then, like, you know, it kind of is like when the project comes out, that's when like 5 or 6 deep cuts start blowing up.
You're right, but I guess for me, I feel like After Control, I hate to say, I don't like the word. I hate when people say people transcend the genre, because to me it's corny and like enough on the genre. But I feel like After Control, SZA's star just grew so much that I expect, even if normal R&B acts don't do this, you're not a normal R&B act. You're SZA. People credit you for like kind of this new resurgence of R&B. So I just expect no matter what. So even if you don't do a lot of promo, you don't do whatever, I just expect the noise around anything that you do finally do to be so large that, and don't get me wrong, the song is performing well. Like, it's not doing poorly at all. I just kind of expected it to do more.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm learning maybe that's not her star power. Maybe when we can see the album numbers, it'll be reflected in that.
I didn't want to say it, but I hate using this argument. But I don't think SZA has transcended completely the black audience. So, and we know black people. I think. Now listen. I think SZA has a white audience. I think she's very good with the white audience, but I think a lot of her. I don't think there's a hardcore white audience other than like white women who like wear sundresses and dance in daisy fields and that kind of stuff.
You know, my type of white.
A lot of them are my friends. I know, Daniel. I know. But you know, like black people were kind of busy. Black people also buy stuff. So there's 4 million people on Twitter saying, "I really want that SZA." 4 million people want to stream that SZA. 4 million people are not going to buy that SZA.
Yeah, I feel you. Man, I'm gonna say this though, but if TDE had kept up, like think about it, she been in the vault for 3 years, like 50 other R&B acts that came out in them 3 years, and that's what I was saying. I like TDE's system, but that works with different artists. But when you got a Kendrick and you got a SZA, they should not be applied to that. You gotta get a different formula for them.
You know, even Kendrick is different because people are checking for Kendrick every single day. Like I don't want to say that. I don't think people at that like insane. What's he doing today?
Okay, wait, but Jordan, I'm gonna say this though. Kendrick had multiple projects to build that. Like he had to build that fan base.
Right,
whereas SZA, she had one. Yeah.
Yeah, SZA made one very great album, and then just just ghosted everybody.
Let's say, do we know? Does SZA want to be a huge star? Because I think of acts like Frank Ocean. So to me, Frank should be like 10 times bigger. But Frank don't want to be around niggas. So Frank is very fine with just saying, don't talk to me. I'm not releasing music. Niggas want my old shit. Buy my old album.
I don't know.
And then when I drop, I drop.
I'm gonna say she be complaining a lot about it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm gonna say that.
Go ahead.
We're not complaining, making valid complaints.
Well, I'm saying like she be wanting to put the music out. Like she wants. Her goals are obviously not 100% aligned with TDE, and that's why she be having these spats with them. So so she might want to be a star, but they might not be like, no. If you want to be a star, this is what you got to do it. So they might be disagreeing on how to get her to that.
I think they put it on the Kendrick data plan, the Kendrick Frank data plan. But the problem is that when they are gone, they don't use their phones. Like SZA, like still tweets about like just stuff, you know. So that kind of ruins it because she's normalizing her absence. So at this point, we're just missing the music. We're not necessarily missing SZA. We're not what hairstyle does she have? What's going on in her life and all that kind of stuff, like we do with Frank and Kendrick.
Like literally, Kendrick, we just saw some pictures of Kendrick and really postulating if it's even a music video.
First picture we saw the nigga levitating over the ocean.
Yeah. The thing is, you really can't tell if that's even him. That was my first thought when you said that to me, Dan. I was like, this might not even be him. Like it could literally be anybody.
I can't see no other rapper doing it but Kendrick though.
No, that's true. But I mean, it could be for a movie. I don't know. Like he just like.
I'm not getting hype about that Kendrick stuff because I just don't know if it's music related or not. No, but I think you're right with Kendrick and Frank because for Frank, I didn't even Frank had an Instagram, but it was private to the public, so like we didn't get into that till like years later.
Yeah,
like, maybe you niggas can see what I do in my personal life, and he still don't really post because I follow that nigga and I don't remember the last time I seen something from Frank.
I got one conspiracy theory too. I'm gonna say this: who seemingly is Kendrick's other arch rival other than Drake? Like
statistics wise, or
not statistics wise, but just like the way people view Big Sean.
I thought it was gonna drop last night. I thought Kendrick was gonna drop a single and then they put out SZA.
I just think
that was my theory for like the last 2 weeks.
That would have been evil.
I still think it was intentional TDE that they finally break their silence on the night that Big Sean dropped his album. I think that was intentional. Listening to the interview of like the Joe Budden podcast did with Punch and how he was talking about they asked him, have you listened to that new Drake single? He's like, nah, I ain't heard it yet. They're like, you ain't heard it yet? I mean, I listen to music on Sundays. I'm listening to it though. I ain't heard it yet. Knowing how petty they are, I really feel like TDE planned that shit just to fuck with Sean. That's my conspiracy theory. I ain't gonna hold it.
It did not work.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't work. Because I think Sean's songs are gonna be more successful than Hit Different. Though I love Hit Different.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sean, I will say I was genuinely surprised. I thought Big Sean was like a shoo-in for the #1 album. I thought there was like no way that he wouldn't get it.
I knew
And I just saw
something
the
was
recent
up.
projections. And
I knew
yes,
something was
Tekashi
up.
seemed to be granted projections change, so like by Wednesday it could be like different. Tekashi could slow down, Sean could like pick up speed. But Tekashi in front of him by like 25,000 units.
Fam.
And I didn't
When,
expect that.
I'm gonna say this when Tekashi said he was
Really
dropping
be
his
realistic,
album.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I'm gonna say this when they said that Lil Durk was changing his album from an album to a single. I said, yeah, Tekashi gonna do some numbers. Like
Dirk is upset.
Yeah. No. This will threw me off because he came out last week and was like, they tried to pay me to beef with him. I ain't saying nothing else. And then he just spent the whole week just going back and
Talking
forth.
about
like,
He's about to
yeah, I'm like,
These
fail.
are academics.
And what
comments.
label is going to offer you $3 million? Like, come on.
Yeah,
And Dirk's the one who picked the fight with Tekashi. Like,
Exactly.
Hey, you know what it sounded like to me? It sounded like he took that bag to me.
I don't keep real. I don't even.
there is no bag.
I
They ain't offer that man.
don't even think it's a bag. I think he just wants a promo.
Yeah, they like the attention.
And I almost say, and that's why I said when 6ix9ine came out, he was go thrive and survive because rappers is even though rappers say they got more, it's a job. And when you got a job, you want to get paid. How do you get paid? You got to be seen. How do you have to be seen? You gotta do something.
And
so he gonna be a super villain. Like he is the Joker. Everybody want to go against the Joker, so they, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Or he's
you
gonna be
need a
number
villain.
one. He's gonna be number one because all 25,000 of those sales come from Daniel streaming trolls.
Yeah, true.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna bring that up too. From what I heard, a lot of this.
Did you stream it or did you buy it? Did you buy it?
He bought it 25,000 times.
Copies of Trolls.
That whole museum shit.
Maybe I own a couple of copies of that song, but I did hear.
Did you contribute to this album going #1?
No, I feel like my troll sales been counted. I ain't buying no merch. But I heard they're finally shipping that merch this week, and they say them troll sales looking crazy, and that's like helping that album. Hey, that nigga knew what he was doing. I ain't mad at him. If he had to get it off the back of my nigga, he had to
and
get
it's
it
the
off the back
crazy
of my
part.
nigga.
They tried to stop him, and they still was too late. They tried to stop him and Nick, and they were too late, fam. That shit crazy.
No, it's trolls out the gate. That's why I said statistics. Business wise, that song made perfect sense to me because like it's two like really hated rappers, but they're rappers that you hate, but then you watch them.
You gotta watch. You gotta see them.
So I knew that was out of there. What was funny to me though is I saw Thug promote Sean's album, but then he dissed 6ix9ine in the process. It was like, "Oh, we don't listen to rap."
Yeah.
I was like, "What? Like, just say Detroit 2 and go on about your business."
Listen, don't promote Popular Demand podcast and say don't listen to X podcast over there.
Bingo.
Hey,
And also, Gunna did a Crime Stopper commercial. Thug, I rock with you. I rock with Gunna. Y'all can't do the no snitching campaign when your artist did a snitching commercial.
It don't make sense.
Like, like how Flow is to Progressive, Gunna is the Crime Stoppers. Like you can't be doing that. He State Farm for snitching. You can't do that. You can't.
That's funny.
for snitching.
All
I rock with Gunna, but you can't be saying no ratting. And you did a commercial for ratting. Like,
Come on.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm with you. None of it makes sense. Hip hop to WWE, so all of it is just confusing. But I wanted Sean to get that, and I was like, hopefully week 2 Sean to get it. But I'm good. But the Taylor Swift album is still doing too well, so I don't even think Sean could go #1 in his second week. So
all that being said, yes, SZA released a great single.
Yeah,
100%. And I want to hear that song at the end. Yeah, we had to double back. I appreciate you. I like that song at the end. I didn't realize that wasn't on Hit Different because I watched the video first. Then I eventually went to go stream the song. And I was like, wait, nigga, I'm missing like my favorite part about this song. So I'm intrigued to hear it made me want to hear that body of work. And what was so impressive to me about Hit Different was just the fact that I know this is a throwaway. I don't think this is on her second album. I think this is just on that cluster of music she said that had just like no real purpose or space.
Oh yeah, the photo dump or what she call it? I forgot what she called it.
Music dump album.
Music dump. Music dump is like a photo dump. And somebody asked whatchamacallit just the other week, like, are we ever gonna get that? And he was like, soon. So Maybe this is what it is.
No, I think that's what this is a part of. So I don't think this has like a real like space. I think this is gonna be like her untitled, unmastered. So I think this is just like music she was in between the space to control and whatever we're gonna get next, or maybe alt. And I think this is just in that space. But I was like, damn, it's like your throwaways are this good. I can't imagine what you saving for the album. And I was like, damn, Punch really was not going. We had to beg for this. We had to beg for the throwaways. Like that's wild to me.
All right.
But,
shout out to SZA, shout out to TD for finally giving us something. Don't stop here. Don't make it next 3 months before we hear anything else from y'all. So I'm gonna move on to. Oh, go ahead. One last thought, Dan. What you got?
No, that I want to see what SZA's gonna do, because I haven't listened to that Summer Walker album, but I know like all the women I know like love that album, and I saw her like occupy the space that I think SZA also occupied. Yep. So like, that's gonna be. And I'm not saying two black women can't occupy the same space. I'm not saying nothing like that. I just thought it was interesting. I thought SZA's maybe like lack of activity kind of allowed a space for Summer to like grow. Yeah, so I'm just like intrigued to see them exist together. I think maybe a track between them both would be like pretty cool. So I'm just excited, and I hope SZA doesn't like get momentum and then die it out. Yeah, I love the video.
Of course, he need that video. Sorry, moving on to the next topic.
The video too.
Suns legend Steve Nash has now accepted the head coaching job for the Brooklyn Nets. I almost forgot their name. I almost call them the Milwaukee Nets. The Brooklyn Nets.
Disrespectful.
The Milwaukee Nets.
I don't know what my brain was doing with this thing. It just did a thousand different things in a second. So
you understand Brooklyn?
No, the Brooklyn maybe. The Brooklyn Nets have now signed him to like a 4-year deal, I do believe. It came as a surprise because of Steve Nash's limited head coaching experience. If I say limited, I mean he has none. And the fact that they were actually considering more veteran-like coaches, even some coaches who have actual championship resume in like Ty Lue. Guys, I'm going to start with Cam. Cam, how do you feel about Steve Nash seemingly coming out of nowhere and stealing this job?
I'm going to say this. Steve Nash, I don't know if he's the best candidate for this job, but he is the most Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving pick for this job. They are the type of people who, right when you expect them to do one thing, they go against it and go and pick the thing that you would never expect. Like, all right, Kyrie and KD going to New York. Oh no, they going across the borough. They going to Brooklyn. So like, definitely this is a Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Sean Marks approved pick. Big fan of it. Obviously, I'm a Suns fan, but just in terms of the logistics of the game, I mean, I think this could be amazing, because if you look at the way this team could be set up, it's not. I won't necessarily say it's like the Suns teams. Obviously, not. They don't have Steve Nash on the court, but at the same time, this is a team that they're kind of gonna have to run small ball, because they only have, I think, like 2 centers on the whole roster. So, I mean, they're going to be an up and down team, kind of like most of the NBA is right now. And I think Steve Nash wishes that he could have been a player in today's era. And now he's looking at it and he's like, man, imagine what I can do with this talent that I have on this team. So I'm with this. I definitely don't think this is a white privilege pick. I think this is a Sean Marks play with Steve Nash and Kevin Durant and Kyrie really like this guy. Kevin Durant got coached by him when he was an advisor for the team. So I definitely would say, like Core said, it's a star power pick. I love the pick, obviously. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan as well as the Phoenix Suns fan next season. So, yeah, I love it.
Did people call it? I didn't hear no one call it white privilege.
Yes, some people calling it like even legit
man on
ESPN. The legit analysts are saying it because it is. I would say this. It does look crazy that you have a team.
It's Brooklyn though.
I don't know what that means, Cole. I really don't. Like this isn't just something.
They different.
No, this is not something that happens a lot. Like to have have a team with a champion in Kyrie Irving, to have a 2-time champion in Kevin Durant, MVP in Kevin Durant, and the fact that this team will have championship title contending aspirations next season, and you go get a coach. Like it didn't matter if he was white or black. It just seems very weird. You go get a coach who has never.
We do need more black coaches, though.
We do, but I'm saying that even if he wasn't white,
we do for sure.
Even if he wasn't white, if he was black, it would look weird for him to go get a coach that hadn't actually won anything. hadn't even been to the finals as a player, and you put them, and I'm just saying, Cam, and you put them as the coach of a team with guys who actually have won, because it's that whole dynamic. I'm assuming that Kevin Durant respects Steve Nash a lot, because I'm pretty sure he's the one to help push him get Steve Nash there.
Sure.
But it just looks weird that you get a guy with less championship experience, or really none, to coach guys who actually have been there and won. That's the weird thing to me. Like that, if he had been black, that's like if they had gotten like Alvin Gentry, or they had gotten trying to think of another
Nate McMillan.
Yeah, like Nate McMillan or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And
Mark
put
Jackson.
Yeah, or Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson.
Yeah, that would have looked weird. In all honesty, I would have thought that was bad.
Yeah.
But Steve Nash is a brilliant basketball mind. I'm excited to see what he'll do with the team. I think the easiest thing to do is make him play iso ball, because it's Kyrie and KD. You make him do iso for like the entire game, you win. It would be interesting with Kyrie, because Kyrie is a very, very, very good 3-point shooter. Shoots around 40% from three his entire career from three, but he don't take a lot of them. Like he ain't taking.
Yeah.
He don't take like 7, 8. He take like 5. Like he take like 5 a game, and so I could see Steve Nash coaching him to be like, "Hey, Kyrie, you can shoot threes really well. Let them fly. Just shoot them."
Well, and I'll say this, and I'll say this. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they strike me as guys who are lovers of the art of basketball. And if you truly love watching basketball and you truly love watching how it's played, Steve Nash is a great guy to watch. Like if you're watching film and you're watching old film, like you see Steve Nash and you're like, okay, this is how basketball is supposed to be played. So I feel like those guys, being appreciators they are for the art form of basketball, were like, all right, we got to get somebody like this to come and show us how it's done.
I think that those guys, I think they're gonna be all right. I'm put it like that. It's just it was surprising. Like
Absolutely.
I can't
tag team.
Yeah, I can't overstate how surprising it was. He's the new head coach.
Definitely. I was shook too.
But I think they'll be perfectly fine in the long run. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, and one thing I will say is we gotta remember they had to fire a white coach to get Steve Nash. Like they fired Kenny Atkinson. I really like Kenny Atkinson, but But another thing we gotta keep in mind is this: I like the assistant coaches they got. The one they coached, when they went to the playoffs, is in the bubble. When they was it Jock? I can't pronounce his version. Yeah, Jock Vaughn. Yeah. Like, he was a really good coach. So if Steve Nash don't know what to do, he can easily look to him and go, "Hey, what would you do in this situation?" So it's not like
he alone.
Exactly. And on top of that, like players, like point guard, it's a lot of coaches in the NBA that used to be point guards with no coaching experience, and they got a job because people think they got high IQ. Derek Fisher got a job. Doc Rivers used to be a point guard. Nate Miller, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of coaches like Steve Nash just happens to be white.
I just want to say,
Doc Rivers. Oh, you said.
And if he sucks, he gonna get fired. Look at Jason.
I mean, I'm not even arguing about it being white privilege anymore. I was just more like it's just weird to get an unexperienced coach, because I thought that was like the whole reason of getting rid of Kenny Atkinson was because he wasn't like that he wasn't that veteran coach that could really rein in KD and Kyrie and make them listen, because he hasn't done anything. So I thought it'd be like around the same vein. So the first fan question of the day we have from the homie Tay, and he wanted to know who is having a better run, 2020 Lil Baby or 2014 Rich Homie Quan? Guys,
I used to love Quan. That was my freshman year of college too.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh.
So who you taking? Who's had a better year?
Wait, statistically, or are we talking about just music?
See, I asked him the exact same thing. I don't know. So statistically, it would probably have to be Lil Baby, right? So
no
Baby blow him out the water.
Now,
no question.
Quality, who's making the better music?
That I would never stop going in and go. I'm not gonna lie to you. That I would never stop going in. I played that shit out.
Cole, I feel like you're the expert on this subject.
I'm gonna say that I would say I can't be the expert on this subject for one reason only. You probably remember this. I was not high on Rich Homie Quan. I was high on Thug, and at that time, everybody told me I was crazy for saying that Thug was gonna be better than Quan. And even though I like Lil Baby, I still feel like Gunna go outlast. It's just me though. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna say this. That speaks volumes to how good Quan was at the time.
Cause he was in a bag, man. He was going crazy. I'm talking about every mixtape just banger, and he just stopped. He stopped going in. He told us he never would.
I'm gonna go.
I'm looking at these stats on that piff right now.
I'm gonna go Rich on Quan. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go Rich on Quan.
I think me too. I'm looking at this. I mean, I know this don't mean nothing in today's age, but this shit got 3.9 million streams, views, whatever on that piff, and that's a big fucking deal. That piff, streaming age, that's like, oh, whatever. That's
you had to download the app for that.
I would say, yeah, like that meant a lot at that time. So, and
Quan had everything.
Because Quan you ain't getting no damn virus off that piff.
Click on links, you will.
You have to deal with all them damn ads, so I will say that.
Hey, you click one of them links, you will.
They gonna get that revenue.
I don't even remember who he was beefing with at the time, but even the diss songs was good.
Future?
Him the Future. Wasn't Future. But he threw like a shot at Future. He was like, who the fuck told you I want to be your ass? I'm the Future nigga. I see your past. He did give Future like a little jab, but
he did.
Crazy. But he was
wrong though.
He was dissing someone. He got a song called "Fuck Me." I was listening to Quan crazy. I forgot about Quan. I was listening to Quan crazy in undergrad. That was my freshman year.
You made like a 30 track album in like 2018, didn't they? Didn't do that chord?
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't bad though, from what I heard.
No, it wasn't bad. I heard a lot of people say. I heard people say great things. I just never got around to listening to it.
But you know what the people want?
Who do people want?
We want Rich Gang back, but we ain't gonna never get it. But we want Rich Gang back.
Birdman already said that's dead. He said he only hung around Quan because of Thug. He don't give a fuck about Quan. So
damn.
Damn. And I trust Baby.
All right.
Hey, you know about what Baby said.
Oh no! Don't go yet, Jordan. It just made me realize. It's Quan's fault because I just remembered or I realized the reason they just like there was a spat or a riff is because people used to call Young Thug gay, and that was like a big like thing. Quan got upset and started to like distance himself from Thug because
I remember that.
And then he just got cold and Thug got super hot, so that's his own fault.
Yeah,
kills all.
I do remember.
Boy, and don't forget,
homophobia coming in circles.
And then he had that song leak when he was talking about raping chicks. So yeah.
I didn't hear that.
He dropped the ball.
I vaguely remember that.
We gonna need the link for that one, Cole.
No, we don't.
We don't.
I don't want to put that on Quan because I don't remember that.
Cole, you don't want that in your search history anyway. The feds
I'm pretty sure it's crazier things than Cole.
I don't want. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
So for another episode.
Moving on to the next fan question, we had a question from Lil Baby Chance on Twitter. He asked, "Where should CP3 try to go next season if the Thunder trade him? Who has the advantage in a Celtics and a Heat Eastern Conference Final?" CP3 should try to go to the Bucks next season. I think that's what he's trying to go.
Say that, man.
If he has a contract, though, it has to be appealing to the Thunder. So where would they want to ship him would be the question.
Yeah, but that's the question. That's what I say. If CP should want to go to the Bucks, places that are appealing for the Thunder, quite a few places, but I don't think they want Chris Paul. That's the thing about it. So,
why do you feel like he fits in with the Bucks?
Well, because
just asking.
Well, like I talked about how the Bucks need a bucket getter, somebody who can go get their own shot, as well as somebody who can create something for Giannis. So I talked about
a leader.
Yeah, so I talked about him running pick and roll. He needs Giannis needs a pick and roll partner. He needs somebody so if you have Chris Paul running pick and roll with him and then driving to the mid range, the fact that he can rise up from the mid range will force the big to step up on Chris, which would let Giannis slide behind the big man lob threat right there. I rarely
it'll work wonders for him.
I rarely ever see Giannis catch a lob out of the pick and roll. Rarely. They just don't run. They just don't run them kind of sets. So
look at it this way. Giannis is Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan combined with more defense. Just imagine what Chris Paul could do with it.
A lot. Chris Paul wouldn't have to aim. He just throw the ball.
Just imagine.
He just throw the ball.
Yeah. And also, this wouldn't be the first time he replaced Eric Bledsoe on the team. Come on now.
More defense than prime DeAndre Jordan?
James Harden say that nigga ain't got no talent. He just big and could dunk.
Yep. I'm with James Harden.
Now,
hey, I'm gonna say this. At first, I said Harden, you wildin'. I don't watch you couple.
After this series, I don't know.
That nigga is a paint beast. He is a paint beast. I ain't gonna hold you. With no post on.
Now, who has the advantage? So the Celtics are now tied 2-2. So, you know, they might not make it. But if they were to make it and get
It's
the
6'11" lob threat.
I would say that the Celtics have the advantage because I feel like they'd have the better half court score in Tatum. I think I
kind of Celtics win this series. You don't think the Celtics gonna win? I think they win.
I picked Celtics to win this series. I picked them to win in 6.
Toronto some fighters though.
They are gonna go away. That's why I said I picked them at 6. Like they were never gonna fold. They
need Pascal to stop spinning. Though I need you to stop that real quick. I'm doing that little spin move.
That video, that gorilla spinning in circles, that Pascal Siakam on the way to goal. That is the funniest.
That video funny, fam.
No, cool.
Sound like anti-blackness to me.
I was gonna say.
When they were down,
it might be, but I like that video. I ain't gonna hold you.
Of course, it might be.
It might be, but I don't even care. That's just funny.
When they were down 0-2 in the series, the course said he finna spin his way right on home. This shit was so funny.
Said he was spinning way to the crib. Medical plan. Got that post technician on bronze.
All right. So we got
shout out to Pascal.
We got one more fan question. It's from the homie Groovy Gert, the one and only. Who is the most underappreciated hip hop legend? And this is an overrated rapper and underrated rapper. Reason why? Just for the sake of time, we're gonna go with just the first question. Who's the most underappreciated hip hop legend to you guys?
I got agendas to push, so I'm just saying Nicki Minaj.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw Grant's other tweet, and I definitely prepared for that one more than this one.
Yeah, he said 2. But that one had like 3 questions on it. I said, I'm just gonna take this one. It seems
just off top, DeLon. Off top. First thing that come to your mind.
Taylor Quali.
No.
I'll say underappreciated, not like a super disrespected, but underappreciated. I'll say Left Eye.
Okay.
Can I argue? I know we don't got no time.
I mean, that kind of tricky. I mean, if you argue, it kind of, speed into DeLon's point.
No, but I think Left Eye is appreciated for what she did as a member of TLC, but as a solo act, she got that one album, but it just wasn't that great. So I feel like she didn't have the time to like give us a body of work for us to overappreciate or underappreciate. So I think for what she did, she's appreciated, but like she got one solo project that didn't really go nowhere. So like, how could we underappreciate it if like you barely gave us anything?
Yeah, I think she unappreciated. I think she unappreciated member of TLC.
I mean, I
really unappreciated.
Shout out Cherish and None.
I'm gonna go with Mos Def with his amazing.
Okay.
I
thought that too, but I don't know if I'd say he's underappreciated.
Damn, Daniel!
All right.
I say Mos Def because, like, in terms of the type of lyricist he is, he's like top tier, upper echelon. Over the years, he's been featured on songs with Black Thought, with other God tier MCs. And he pretty much always delivers. And yet, I don't feel like we talk about him like we talk about like the best lyricists of all time and things of that nature. I don't think we ever really talk about Mos Def at all. I don't think his name really comes up like that. Like that's why I feel like he's underappreciated. Say what?
DeLon made me feel bad, so I can't give my retort that I want to get.
Hey man. He was in that Alicia Keys video drinking coffee and eating fish, man. That nigga different. That boy started getting backflips. He different.
Cam is a cook. They don't speak to your palate. Hot chocolate and fish.
What? No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
I got love for y'all.
Don't
knock it till you try it.
That's some weird shit. Like that's some really weird shit to be eating together.
He did I was so upset that I didn't live in New York. He did a collab with the Brooklyn Museum. So he made an album specifically for the museum, and you could only hear it if you went to I don't want to call it an installation, but kind of an installation. You had to go to the museum to listen to it. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And to me, I thought that was an example of a museum representing you're in New York, so you should reach out to Black people, specifically in Brooklyn. So I thought that was dope as shit. So shout out y'all saying.
Shout out to the legend.
Quando Rondo might do it for Florida. Hey, hey man, I gotta go Cool
Let's
Keith, the
hope
man. Hey man, y'all know I rock a Cool Keith, the man, the myth, the legend. I feel like people don't call him a legend enough out here. I'm just gonna throw that out there. We talking about rappers, most otherworldly bars. He's definitely a pioneer for you look at the Eminems, you look at the Tyler, the rap with the, when they say some stuff, they go, yo, he was really one of the first to do that. And he be over some insane beats. So I look at the Danny Browns and the A$AP Fergs. I always look at Cool Keith, man. He paid the way for a lot of people. And he deserved that respect.
Okay.
You don't know Cool Keith?
No. I'm
Me,
talking about A$AP Ferg. A$AP Ferg don't know who that is.
Hey man, from New York, it might be an uncle. You don't know.
I don't think it could be. Nigga named Cool Keith. Could be anybody uncle.
Yeah.
Shout out Ferg. He's still
Shout
an
out Ferg.
A$AP if you ask me.
I think
best one if you ask me.
I think that's a whole. I think that's a whole act.
Say all that.
Actually, another member of A$AP because I don't know none of them niggas other than Rocky and Ferg. And I know.
And I barely know Ant.
Yeah, I just know his music.
And it because that nigga named Ant.
It was like another
He took
A$AP.
12 album once.
There was one A$AP that I didn't know said that he wasn't in A$AP anymore. And then another A$AP I didn't know came out and said that he is still in A$AP. So I don't know who those niggas is.
Do y'all know if A$AP is an acronym or like?
Always strive
and prosper. Yeah.
I wish I didn't know that.
This the real question. Who is A$AP? Wait, it's a real question. How is A$AP Bari still in A$AP? Wasn't it like a whole video of him trying to rape somebody? Like,
No, he not A$AP anymore. He go by the young Lord. He go by the young Lord now.
It's not even
He
real
was
no
the one who
more.
told Ferg he wasn't in no more.
Yams died. Rocky is chasing Rihanna around the world. Who the fuck gives a
I'm
fuck
blaming
about
for that.
Bob? Like,
It's facts. That's facts. They done in these streets.
so,
Ferg,
when they say
you better listen to
Ferg
YBN out here. I mean, not man. You better listen to Corday. Drop it.
So Ferg is the only
Robert.
person to me who on a public
Matters.
commercial level who
Yeah.
who hold the flag. So I was like, what? So it threw me off.
Hey
But,
man, A$AP Rocky dropped testing. They been dead since. Ferg, just go by Ferg. Drop the A$AP.
he let Frank
A$AP.
out rap him. So I'm not gonna lie, I did lose respect for Rocky after
Yeah,
that
that's facts.
project.
That's facts.
So because I didn't understand what was happening, and it wasn't even like so he let Frank bar him up, and I was like, whoa,
He really
how we got here. So and I was one of the
We
people
got here.
that, like, and I was like, nah, y'all just talking. A$AP ain't never released a bad project. He gonna come how he always come. Then I got tested.
Space Ghost Perp ain't never lied.
I guess
He told her Rocky was a fraud.
I guess Frank Ocean caught him slipping on there, man. All right, so that's all I got. You guys got any closing thoughts?
Support your local museums. Boycott the NBA, but maybe watch it because Donald Trump been talking reckless. Support the local post office, please. It is important. Everybody, we need the postal workers. Please go buy some stamps.
We do.
And go ahead and stream Queen. That's all I got.
I mean, how many
Facts.
That's a cheap though. How many I gotta buy to make a difference though? Like I feel like just buying
Nah,
like 5 stamps.
Stamps not cheap. It's 50
About
cents.
50.
So if you buy one stamp,
Wait,
I went to buy
Are
like
stamps
2
50
books of
cents
stamps.
now?
50 cents per
the-
stamp. But they add up.
Damn.
2 books of stamps is like $200.
It's in there. The outer.
So it adds
Hey
up.
man,
I don't mail things, so
Giannis, Auntie the Gumbo.
You about to be mailing a whole
Right.
bunch of stuff. What are you talking about, Jordan?
DeLon does that.
Oh, well.
I'd go buy like a book of stamps and it wouldn't. It'd just be a book of stamps. That's all it would be in my house.
You have to start sending stuff.
Yeah, I just started sending random things to y'all. Y'all just get random letters in the mail from me.
Just pay.
Bruh, hey, that shirt was sitting on the table for like a whole week and I had no clue what it was. I didn't know what. I thought it was like a book or something. I figured out like, oh, this is like, it must be the shirt. They were like, yeah, cool, this is like a week.
Of course, there's a book. I don't want it.
Yikes.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Hey,
All
man,
right.
if the Bucks lose today, I'm calling Giannis Auntie the Gumbo forever.
Sweet.
He got to earn his last name again.
I'm just laughing at Cam in this broom.
And then my closing
know what's
thoughts is
going on.
that in the month of August, Vic Mensa put out a very good project,
I
did.
do Vic Mensa.
which is what I was going to talk about today. But Vic
Damn,
Mensa,
man.
EK, very good
Chance
project.
is just fucking everybody from Chicago either came back or sustained, and Chance just Oh, that
Except
hurt
for
my heart.
Chance.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Come on, hey. You
That hurt
know,
my heart.
if we think
Lil
about
Durk have a better year than Chance.
if we think about it, Vic took like 4 projects to get here.
That's facts. He had a lot of misses.
Hot shower, hot.
I like that song, damn it. I like that song, and I will stand by it.
Please,
Jordan, close us
please
out.
don't.
All right. Thank you all for tuning into another episode of Pop of the Man podcast. Tune in next week for another episode of your favorite podcast. See you then.